ring. I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, we only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Majumov.
Is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Charlo explains why he believes Canelo has the upper hand against Terence Crawford. In his view, the decisive factor will be whether Crawford can endure the kind of power shots Canelo delivers. He highlights that Crawford is already moving up in weight just to take on Canelo, which naturally makes the task more difficult. Charlo adds that the outcome will largely depend on how Crawford handles Canelo's strength and constant pressure throughout the fight. Some analysts note that Crawford wasn't able to truly damage Majumov, a fighter considered far below Canelo's level. While Crawford impressed against Errol Spence, this situation is on another level. Canelo, younger and more active in recent years, is seen as a far more dangerous and formidable challenge for Bud.
10-0. They never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. They never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt Majumov. Canelo Alvarez is no Earl Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Earl the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish. Like he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline, on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Earl Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Kell Brook. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the Mean Machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats. And not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican shit, because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
Brook gives his take on why he leans toward Canelo Alvarez in a potential clash with Terence Crawford. He explains that Canelo is a completely different caliber of fighter than anyone Crawford has shared the ring with before. While Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence was impressive, Brook points out that it doesn't truly prepare him for the unique challenges Canelo presents. According to him, Canelo's power, ring experience, and proven success at higher weight divisions make him stand out far beyond Spence and others. Brook believes Crawford has never encountered a fighter with Canelo's combination of skill, strength, and ring IQ, which is why this matchup could easily turn out to be one of the toughest tests of Crawford's career.
You've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's going to have to, move up. And, I know when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo. But, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe outmoving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more. He kind of sets his feet and he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Many analysts argue that Terence Crawford could be at a serious disadvantage against Canelo Alvarez due to the size difference. Moving up nearly 3 weight divisions, with only limited experience at 154 pounds, might not give Crawford the tools to hurt Canelo effectively. Experts draw comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, who had already faced several elite-level opponents before meeting Canelo, while Crawford's only test at that weight has been against Madrimov. Gabe Rosado also points out that fighters accustomed to dealing with natural power punches at higher weights are rarely troubled by shots from smaller divisions. This raises concerns over whether Crawford's punches will have enough impact to slow down or trouble Canelo once they meet in the ring.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it, and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting and they make more sense. Like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over. To be 100% honest, there's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small. And he even gave his own personal experience. He said, I'm 180, 190 solid. And when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple. Right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Analysts continue to highlight a crucial factor in the potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Can Crawford withstand Canelo's power? The real question isn't just about skill, but whether Crawford can absorb the kind of punches that have broken down so many of Canelo's past opponents. While some critics argue that Canelo looks flat-footed and easier to approach, experts clarify that this is misleading. His style is calculated, built on timing, balance, and efficiency. By setting his feet and sticking to fundamentals, Canelo makes sure every shot he throws carries maximum force. For Crawford, this creates a serious challenge. His defensive sharpness and movement might help him avoid shots for stretches of the fight, but Canelo's patience means he eventually finds openings. And when those openings appear, the real test will be whether Crawford can remain composed under that kind of pressure. Many experts believe that the outcome of this matchup may not depend on who lands more punches, but on whether Crawford's chin and body can handle Canelo's relentless power.
Is Crawford going to be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo going to be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's like, the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost got a one way of style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it, and that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands and he's perfected at rolling with the punch thing.
Crawford's battle with Errol Spence is widely remembered as one of the most dominant and complete displays ever seen in modern boxing. On that night, Crawford put his full arsenal on display: speed, precision, timing, defense, and finishing ability, systematically dismantling a fighter long regarded as one of the elite welterweights in the world, and doing so with apparent ease. For many observers, that performance sealed his status as one of this generation's all-time greats. Now, those training alongside Crawford insist he has elevated his game even further. They point out that his quickness remains razor sharp, his reflexes haven't faded, and his conditioning looks stronger than ever. Even as he gets older, Crawford appears more polished, more focused, and more efficient in his craft. According to those close to his camp, he may currently be in the finest form of his career, a factor that could give him the confidence and edge required when stepping in against a dangerous opponent like Canelo Alvarez.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm going to be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days. I'm not a historian. But as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence. Dangerous southpaw. At the time, I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik shared his thoughts on the blueprint Crawford could use to overcome Canelo. He believes the key lies in the opening rounds. Pavlik explains that Crawford cannot afford to let Canelo dictate the pace early. Instead, he'll need to rely on his movement, sharp combinations, and high ring IQ to make Canelo work harder than usual. The idea is straightforward. If Crawford can force Canelo to throw more punches, stay on the move, and constantly chase the action, it could drain the Mexican superstar's gas tank. Pavlik points out that in long, grueling fights, Canelo has occasionally shown signs of slowing down in the later rounds. That, he believes, is where Crawford's opportunity will come. By applying pressure from the start and making Canelo uncomfortable, Crawford may be able to neutralize some of his power down the stretch, potentially outpointing him on the scorecards, or even scoring a late stoppage.
Stay in Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight, in the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, the early rounds and make him have to play catch up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, he could really step it up.
Boxing journalist Dan Raphael highlighted an important difference in the experiences of both fighters. He noted that Canelo has already shared the ring with opponents who moved up from lighter divisions. Names like Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto stand out, fighters who were naturally smaller but tested him at higher weights. Not only did Canelo face them, he also adjusted to their speed and timing, showing he could absorb punches from smaller men without being overwhelmed. On the other hand, Terence Crawford has yet to meet a naturally bigger opponent with the kind of physical strength and presence that Canelo brings. While Crawford has dominated across several weight classes, stepping in against someone who is truly comfortable and powerful at higher divisions represents an entirely new challenge. Raphael's point stresses that Canelo's wide range of experience against different styles and body types may give him a key edge over Crawford, who has not yet been tested against that level of size and strength.
Dan Raphael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes, because he said if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package, it's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. So, and it was good. It was a very good point. He was like, Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the better part of a decade.
Basically,
he's so used to taking those shots, whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically, he's trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
If you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergei Kovalev, Dimitri Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
not even getting wobbled,
just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Mikey Garcia has been very clear about his prediction for this matchup. In his view, Canelo Alvarez has the kind of power that could seriously damage Terence Crawford. While Garcia respects Crawford's skill and technical brilliance, he argues that defensive sharpness alone might not be enough to offset the raw force behind Canelo's punches. Garcia specifically pointed to Canelo's body attack, noting how his rib-crushing hooks and sharp uppercuts to the midsection have broken down countless opponents. He believes that even a fighter as talented as Crawford would struggle once those shots begin to land. According to Garcia, skill and ring IQ can only carry a fighter so far when the size and power gap is this significant. He views the fight as extremely dangerous for Crawford, warning that the moment Canelo connects cleanly, the momentum could shift instantly. His comments reflect a broader concern shared by many experts, that the physical differences between the two could simply be too much for Crawford to overcome.
When he takes a shot from Canelo, one of those uppercuts from Munguia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing, and goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it. You're going to go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not going to go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and then hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him? It could be life-changing?
Sure, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure, give him all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio offered a more hopeful perspective on Crawford's chances, emphasizing the mental side of his preparation. He explained that Crawford is known for visualizing his fights well before the opening bell, essentially rehearsing scenarios in his mind to prepare for every possible challenge. This means Crawford likely already has a clear picture of what Canelo brings and how to respond. According to Antonio, Crawford's greatest strength has never been raw physicality but rather his adaptability and intelligence inside the ring. Throughout his career, he has consistently adjusted to different styles, broken opponents down, and imposed his own rhythm. In Antonio's view, this matchup won't simply be decided by weight classes, it will be decided by skills. If Crawford sticks to his plan and uses his versatility and boxing IQ, Antonio believes he has a real chance to offset Canelo's physical advantages and make the fight highly competitive.
Terence got to be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't going to make the difference. It ain't going to be the weight. It's going to be the skill set.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates.